Chapter 11. Miss Kibble. Boom and Winger ran along the sleepy harbor, then turned onto Main Street. From that end of the street it was possible to see all the way to the other end, a mere 5-block span. Beyond lay the churning ocean and the endless horizon with its ever-changing array of midnight blue, powder-puff white, and gunmetal gray, like one of Mr. Broom's palettes. The little shops along Main Street were squeezed together in an odd way, as if the buildings were huddling against the wind. "What are you going to do with it?" Winger asked. "Do with it? Are you going to build a cage for it?" "I don't know. Myrtle said she'd take care of it." "Don't you realize what you could do with it? You could charge people money to see it. Meet the Merbaby. Tourists pay $6 to go to the Fairweather Aquarium, and the most exciting thing to see there is the stupid hermit crab exhibit. Tourists would totally pay a lot more to see a real Merbaby." Winger started calculating. "There are 1,242 people on this island. At $6 each, that's $7,452. If you charge $10, that would be $12,420. $12,000? Winger kept calculating as they walked. He added in the population of those who lived on the mainland, and then all the people in China. Boom, you'll be the richest kid in the entire world. Boom almost bit his tongue. Selling tickets had never occurred to him. This baby could be like finding a sunken pirate treasure. Boom stopped outside the picture window of the Fairweather shoe store. A pair of fire-red galactic kickers sat on display. He pressed his face against the glass, staring at what were, without doubt, the most cherished kicking shoes in the world. The sign read, "Galactic Kickers. Developed with space-age technology, these impact-absorbing wonders are equipped with double-arch support, steel-padded toes, and superior traction. The preferred shoe of kick-the-ball-against-the-wall champions worldwide. $125. Boom wiped a dribble of drool from his lip. "Do you think someone could pay $125 to see the Merbaby?" he asked Winger, who had also pressed his face against the glass. "Totally. Because the problem is that I promised Myrtle not to tell anyone about the baby. She thinks that scientists will take it away and experiment on it." Winger nodded. "She's probably right. I hadn't thought of that. They might even stick it in quarantine, like when my dog ate a bat and that had rabies. There had to be some way to make this work. But if we sold just a few tickets to people who promised to keep it a secret, then I could get a pair of galactic kickers. And even help pay the bills around the house and pay the mortgage so they wouldn't have to move and buy some decent food." "You boys gonna buy something?" Mr. Nord, the shopkeeper, asked. "No, thank you," Boom said, taking a step back. "How's your father doing?" Mr. Nord asked Boom. "I haven't seen him at the coffee shop since—" An uncomfortable silence followed as Mr. Nord noticed the hole in Boom's sneaker. His gaze traveled across Boom, and an undeniable look of pity settled on his face as he took in the fact that Boom's clothes were too small and that his hair hadn't been washed. "Everything okay at home, Boom?" "Fine," Boom answered loudly. "Dad's busy painting." Boom knew what could happen if anyone in town began to suspect neglect. The family could be broken up, Myrtle sent off to some foster home in Timbuktu, and Boom could end up in a town where no one knew how to play kick the ball against the wall. That would appeal to the universe, part of its grand plan. He'd have to start taking better care of himself and buy some new clothes with the Merbaby money. Mr. Nord nodded. "It always helps to keep busy, give him my best." He went back inside. Boom sighed with relief. "Come on, we've got to go get to that pet store." The pet store sat between the Fairweather Public Library and Beulah's Beauty Salon. The window blinds were drawn, and the sign on the door read, "Closed today due to a head cold." "What?" Boom cried. "They can't be closed." "Miss Kibble lives in back," Winger said, pointing down the alley. She owned the pet store. "We could go knock on her door." Empty pet food crates lined the alley. Boom had to step over 3 sleeping cats and a family of rabbits to get to Miss Kibble's back door. He knocked as loudly and as rapidly as he could because he figured the faster he knocked, the faster someone would respond. It worked. The door opened right away, and Miss Kibble stuck her pale face out. "Yes," she said, dabbing her nose with a tissue. She wore a flannel robe with cat hair on every square inch. A little blob of bird poop perched on her right shoulder, and a gerbil peeked out of her breast pocket. "Please, Miss Kibble, I need some goldfish right away." "My store is closed. I'm sick." She dabbed again. "It's really important," Boom pleaded. "And why is that? What are you boys up to?" She peered over the top of her thick fish-shaped glasses. We're not up to anything, Boom lied, trying to smile sweetly. We're not going to feed them to anyone, Winger blurted. He looked down at his feet, shuffling in place like he had to pee. Lying had always been difficult for Winger. Boom stepped in front of his friend. Don't listen to him. We just need some goldfish. I know what boys do to helpless little creatures, Miss Kibble snarled. She blew her nose real hard. The blow shook the gerbil like an earthquake, and it disappeared back inside the pocket. Why, just the other day I caught that horrid Hurley Mump throwing rocks at a squirrel. Squirrels have feelings, and goldfish have feelings too. Oh, yes, they do. They have feelings just like everyone else. Fish do not have feelings, Boom thought. Half fish don't have them either. That poor little squirrel, Miss Kibble whispered. I love squirrels, Boom said, which wasn't really a lie. He actually didn't have any feelings about squirrels one way or the other, but he didn't go around throwing rocks at them. I need goldfish, and I'm kind of in a hurry. I love squirrels too, Winger added from behind Boom's back. You can come tomorrow. Miss Kibble started to close the door, but Boom stuck his kicking foot in the way, risking a bruise or even a broken toe, but it was a risk he was willing to take. Please, Miss Kibble, what could he tell her? Certainly not that he needed to feed the goldfish to a mutant sea creature. Think, think. I agree with what you said, with that thing about goldfish having feelings too. The lies were stacking up. Miss Kibble tilted her head with interest. Goldfish are direct descendants of the same primordial ooze that we all come from. That's why they have feelings, just like everyone else. Feelings like being scared or lonely. My sister's goldfish is lonely. He needs some friends. Boom waited, shuffling his feet with Winger. That was one of the best lies Boom had ever concocted on such short notice. Miss Kibble closed her bloodshot eyes for a moment. When she opened them, her lips curled into a little smile. Dear boy, she said, a tear pooling at the corner of her eye. I underestimated you. Not everyone understands the needs of the world's smallest creatures. Come in, come in. End of chapter 11.